The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Dave, the Super Bowl happened yesterday. The big game. Okay, let's start with the negatives. Let's look at the game and everything else. My big question for you was, how whelmed were you for that game, the whole event, the day, the stuff, the things? Yes, you're probably a little under the weather, a little tired, a little tuckered out the old bones. Can't do her anymore. But how whelmed were you when it was all said and done?
If not for the fourth quarter, it would have been extremely underwhelming. I do have some severe critiques with how that game was played, quarters 1 through 3. I did not like, and like I say this all the time, when you say kickoff is at 4:30, that doesn't mean the first fuckface gets on and sings a song. Then a second fuckface gets on and sings a song. And then we got Reba singing the anthem. At 4:25, I want that anthem to be singing so I can start watching the game at 4:30. That drives me nuts. That fucking Lift Every Heart or whatever that chick sang and Pitbull, that was brutal. That song sucked. Not America the Beautiful. I get it. It's a second national anthem. That's not what I meant.
Post Malone, not Pitbull.
Whatever his fucking name was.
Tattoos on his face.
He can jam it. Yeah, beard, too tight of pants, and is he a country guy?
Well, maybe we're talking different songs. Yeah.
Well, he was the bearded guy singing "America the Beautiful" with an acoustic guitar. And he had silver teeth. Yeah, fuck. I don't get that shit. I don't I don't get that fucking shit. The having to televise all these fucking songs. Just give us the fucking anthem and let's rock and roll. These parents want to play. I mean, the players want to play. The fans want to watch. Let's fucking go, man.
I've actually, you bring that up. I've actually always thought that sometimes, like being in the big game, where it be the World Series, Stanley Cup, the Super Bowl, obviously, when players are creatures of routines, right? Creatures of habit. And then when all of a sudden, like they had their warm up doing this, and then this much time doing this, and this much time doing that, it screws guys up a little bit. Like it does. Like it's eventually you catch up on things. Maybe football's a little bit different, but it's like if a hockey goaltender doesn't see a puck for 35, 40 minutes because of all the other shit happening during the regular season, warm-ups this time, and all the other crap happening, it'll screw a guy up. I know Garrett Cole for the Yankees, he got pissed off last year because there was a couple extra things on, I can't remember what game it was, but he was like, okay, can we just get to the fucking game? And he actually said it. It's like, Jesus. So I wonder if NFL guys feel that way. Like, okay, you know what's happening, but the players have to be on the field, right? So their routine's a little bit screwed up.
Yeah, they're just standing there, and it stands to reason where the last 4 or 5 Super Bowls, it's been a really slow first quarter, right? I'm not going to say that's why Christian McCaffrey fumbled for the first time in forever, but that's what happened in the first half. In the first quarter. It's just get me to the goddamn game. Do half that singing, bring the players on for the national anthem, and then let's go. And so so I didn't watch. I had shit to do. I was home on late on Saturday. I got home, slept in, but then I had to do my Sunday chores and just get shit done. And then so by the time I worked my ass over to the couch at 4, and I got to wait till 5 o'clock to watch this game. And
whatever time. Like it's obviously the event's bigger than the game. We've talked about that before, 100%. But I
get that.
I found, like, right from the get go, from the coin toss, I was a little bit amped up, to say the least, because I thought that Tony Romo should have kept his fucking yap shut by talking about they don't know what Purdy's going to do. It's a good choice for Kansas City to defer because make Purdy do this and do that. How does Romo know? He's never been in a Super Bowl. Never been in a Super Bowl. So he's yapping his gums about how Purdy's thinking, what Purdy's got to be doing, and on it goes. And I'm thinking, you've never played in this fucking game, you jackwagon.
You have no idea how
you have no idea what people are thinking. None.
Yes. And and whatever you were feeling in the moment before this, where you
Wasn't
choked,
that game.
wasn't that game, and so he felt different that game because he didn't puke on his shoes. And now that he's in this game, don't tell me we get it. He's Mr. Irrelevant. And it is what it is. All these fucking storylines that as football fans we know, like we know all these storylines. So just you know give it to me straight and tell me when you're going to kick the ball, and then I'll tune in.
See,
And so
that's the problem that the Super Bowl has year in year out, is that it brings in so many different viewers that don't normally watch football, right? And so the guys who like you and I, and the guys who like Jim and Aaron, and on it goes, and Garrett and Jalen, and on, like all of them, right? Like we watch this shit week in, week out, and we follow it, and we podcast about it, and we listen to, we watch whatever it is. But the people who don't watch football, they don't know, and so that makes it tough for us as football fans, as sports fans, to have to listen to this shit over and over again, because they actually, it's an obligation of these people to bring in these one-time viewers to do it, right? So maybe there should be an alternate feed. If you're a football fan, watch this. If you're a Super Bowl fan, watch this. Maybe.
and that's, well, they have the Nickelodeon feed, right? So maybe you can watch that. I don't know. It's with a pregame, and like I said, I didn't watch it. I dragged my ass to the sofa right around quarter after 4. And that was like, oh fuck, game's starting pretty quick. And I should have known better, but the one time I don't turn it on right at, like, I come in at 4:35, then I'm 5 minutes into the game, and that's
Yeah.
not the point of things either. But life goes on. It like fool me 30 times, fool me 31 times. I'm over it.
Yeah.
But then, after that, then the game started, and it was very extremely underwhelming. It was
Yeah.
watching San Francisco not capitalize. Me thinking to myself, you guys are gonna fucking regret this. You guys are gonna fucking regret this. And then got to halftime. I knew who Usher was. Now, I know I'm not downloading any Usher fucking
Well,
today.
like Deanne got home from wherever she was, or just before halftime started, and we were up down here in the tavern, turned it up a little bit, and like actually on Friday night or Saturday night, sorry, we were cooking dinner and having a good time, and I said, "Can you play some Usher songs?" I said, I know a couple." I said, "I know he's got a couple more." I'm a 50-year-old white guy from Canada, and you're 54 years old from Canada, right? So it's one of those things. And so we know who he is, and on and on. And I know that, like, our demographic is already watching it, so we don't need. And Super Bowl, the ratings go up at halftime, like we talked about on last Thursday. But I knew more of his songs than I thought I did, just from for whatever reason. But I thought that the performance, he's talented, 100%. But I just thought the whole thing was a bit underwhelming. Like I didn't. I was like, all right, this is okay. Like it's okay.
Yeah, it was just
Like
so okay.
it didn't stop me from going upstairs to take a piss or grab another beer. Like I wasn't
Yeah,
hoping to
I left.
see who was next, right?
Yeah, I left the room and I said, "Don't hit pause. Like I'm good." Right. So
Yeah.
it was, and that's the thing too.
I mean, but the
Have
halftime, isn't for 50-year-old white guys
right.
from Canada, right?
And you mentioned the alternate feed. Let's listen to guys break down first half plays and what they think for the whole halftime, and then put Usher in the corner, and then like go to the Deuce to watch Usher, right? Or go to whatever YouTube can have Usher. Like I like figure it out.
Because even
You
Deanne,
know,
who's an Usher fan, she said this, it was okay. She goes,
it was dark
it
and
left me
it was
wanting more. And then the songs that
yeah.
it was a medley, and you only heard a little snippet where you didn't get to grind your teeth into a song, and like it. I I'm not gonna. I thought it was shitty. Like I thought it was shitty. Oh
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I didn't like it at all. And you know what I miss in my halftime shows? Instruments. And I'm not talking about the marching band. Give me a fucking band. Give me a fucking band.
Put Guns N' Roses out there, fucking having Slash fucking jam the guitar, 100%.
Or even get Bruno Mars back out there with
He
his
was great.
fucking yeah,
You know,
that fucker, yeah.
all of a sudden, that one's 5 or 6 years ago, right? So,
Yeah.
but they went
Like
to
give me
well
that
two
kind of
years in a
shit.
row, and it turned out to the second year in a row they should have went back to well. No, I thought that was underwhelming. The third quarter, on and on. The game itself, I thought was very underwhelming. The whole thing was I thought it was, eh, eh.
Not to the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, I was literally on the edge of my seat. It was kind of funny. With
Were I knew how it
oh
was going to end.
yeah. Well, so did I, but still, you
Like
still got to watch
late in
it
the fourth
happen.
quarter, when it was third and whatever it was, and Mahomes was going, like I said, he's gonna. I've never played a game of football in my life, never coached a game, never. I knew it was 3rd and 8 that he was going to just go to the outside, run around, get a first down. They're going to get a field goal. I knew that.
Well, it was funny because
It wasn't a surprise.
I don't know who the meatheads running baseball on this town is, but Jasper had tryouts on Sunday during the Super Bowl. So Kaylee had to go and grab him, and she goes, "Oh, it's a tie game," but that's when San Fran was driving to kick their field goal to go up, or no, was that where they scored the touchdown to go up by 3? Sorry, so they and no, there's gonna, and I said, don't worry about it. There's gonna be 2, maybe 3 scores before this game is over.
Yeah.
And then what happens? And I go, then overtime. I go, you should be back. And then she was back for overtime. And then overtime, it's just like, San Fran. My synopsis of this game: San Fran lost that game more than Kansas City, and maybe this is Kansas City's. Maybe the coaching staff is so good that we just hang around. We're only going to play as hard as we have to, because in the third quarter we got
Well,
these guys fucking figured out.
after they beat Buffalo, same thing. We talked about that a couple weeks ago, and then we talked about when they beat Baltimore. We'll just do what we have to do to win. We have the talent to
Hmm.
do so. We're like, look, we don't need to put up a bunch of points, and then if we don't need to, because if we need this play later on, we have that. If we need this to happen later on, we have that.
Yeah.
Let's not expose ourselves. We still have Mahomes there, so we have that X factor. The one thing that really was crazy to me was the the way that McCaffrey, because I think he's the best player in football, the second best player in football. Um, the way he wasn't utilized at all, like
Oh fuck.
like 20 catches or 20
20 carries.
20 carries, but for 60 some yards. But it was they made sure that it just didn't happen, and Purdy's wasn't like yeah, it wasn't a great game. Like it was like yeah, it went to overtime. Yeah, it's exciting, but it was not a great game at all. At all.
No, I agree with that. Like, because that third half was just three and outs, three and outs. Like at that point, if like I said in all my prediction, if San Fran is not nursing a big lead in the second half, they're fucked. And that's it. And they left two. They took their foot off the gas. They were happy being in a third 3-point game with fucking Kansas with Patrick Mahomes. Are you crazy? Are you fucking crazy? You know he's gonna do this. You have to have a two score lead with 4 minutes left in the game. Otherwise,
Well,
you're fucked.
what I laughed about was like all the talking heads today. Like we're also talking heads, but the talking heads today were like, yeah, Shanahan's blown X amount of uh, uh, double digit leads over the last whatever 3-4 years, whatever it's been. That's kind of a yeah. It's only 2 possessions. Look, let's not fucking make it like it was like the 28-3 game from 4 years ago, whatever it was with Atlanta. It was two. They were down by 10 points. It's 2 possessions. It's nothing. That's
10,
absolute. Like you said, it's absolutely nothing. It's nothing in the game of football. Nothing.
right? And then that
It's
bad break they got
it's,
on the punt,
it's a
right?
turnover.
And there's
That's all it
yeah,
is.
yeah. That was a shitty fucking break San Fran had on that punt. And then there's their touchdown, and then the missed point. But you know what? The missed point, then fucking Mahomes would have thrown for a touchdown for the win in regulation as opposed to setting up for a field goal.
There
right?
you go.
That's all that it was, right? And then I think the MVP of the game should have been Harrison Butker. That fucker was clutch for those Kansas City Chiefs. The
Well,
special team, the kickers, both the punters and the kickers were top notch,
we hit that one,
except for that.
56 yards, whatever it was. Yeah.
Well, like it was, 54, 57, 55, like 350 plus yard field goals.
It's
Yeah,
crazy the way the game has changed compared. Like you had to be within the 30 to be automatic. Now these guys are kicking them from 50 automatic.
you bet. Like they're
Like
they're so good.
I'm not saying for 1 second not that the Chicago Bears or the Carolina Panthers or the whoever should go out and draft a kicker first overall, but maybe rethink what you're doing because a kicker obviously can make a big fucking difference.
I think a kicker. Yeah, I think there's a lot. I wouldn't be spending a first round pick on one, but they are they're so much better than they were. And then even that's I had my father-in-law over, just him and I watched the game together yesterday. And like with the punting, the one I don't know which one it was, but launched that fucking 62 yarder where the guy had a fair catch it. Like with that kind of hang time,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. Like when you can flip the field every fucking time with your punter, that's
Yeah.
such a ridiculous advantage. And he's like, maybe they got to get rid of kicking in this league because these guys are
And then
too good now.
and then the advantage you have with the confidence you have. Okay, let's not go for it because if this guy might shank it or whatever it might be. No, I think the kicker position is actually highly underrated in that league. I really do. I really do.
Yeah, and with the going for it on fourth down and what have you, I get it. But it's just the battle of field positioning. It's yeah, when you can flip the field, pin the guy like San Fran. It was San Fran where the guy was just standing, like their punting special teams were so good. Like he was standing on the two before the ball hit the ground and it bounced right to him. I get it. That's luck. But like that's a well coached team. Like the special teams were really well coached. The only mistake was that Moody, the San Fran guy, shanking that extra point. That was it. Drilling it into the back of the lineman. Yeah.
If McCaffrey, so that game started out pretty good, like for the first 3 or 4 plays, whatever it was for San Francisco, and then the fumble happened on that first drive of McCaffrey. If that doesn't happen, I mean, ifs and buts, kind of nuts, Christmas every day, obviously. But if that doesn't happen, that changes things quite a bit. Quite a
Yeah,
bit.
then we're talking 14-0 instead of 10-0, possibly. Like, best case scenario, right?
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference. That makes a huge difference. And then also too, I was really horny for you, and the money you must have got down when that Murray threw that one to McCaffrey. So there was the two guys with
I had it. I had it.
you said 4 and it was only 3,
I
but still.
but the over under was 2.5, like what it
Oh,
was.
okay. So you
But
hit
I
it for
thought
sure.
4. I thought 4 is what was going to be, because I thought that maybe it would work out that way. But no, I thought that was a guarantee. Trick plays would come out. No, San Francisco did not play a very good game. Like actually, you look back on the 2024 playoffs for the San Francisco 49ers, they probably should have lost to Green Bay. They probably should have lost to Detroit, and they ended up losing to Kansas City yesterday.
KC.
Like, you know what? Maybe they just weren't good enough. Like they survived. But I thought my heart of hearts, because they survived those ones, they were going to put something together. But they didn't. Maybe they just don't have the gumption per se to get it done.
Yeah, I don't know. And like I said, I don't understand why they didn't have their foot on the gas more in that third quarter. Like that's when you really have to show yourself. Their defense played really well, but come the fourth quarter, when Kansas City knew how, when their back was against the wall, you knew that that Andy Reid and everybody was going to. They knew what was going to work come crunch time. And so I think the mistakes were, San Fran not playing a little bit more aggressive to get that touchdown. towards the end of the fourth quarter. They had, was it the Murray kid that threw that touchdown pass to McCaffrey? Was that Murray? I'm forgetting his name. I should have
Yeah, I
checked.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he was open, and then Purdy got his pass got batted down, and maybe that thing, like a lot of people I have read, like one of the criticisms of Purdy is just his physical size, and so maybe if he was 6'5", that
But
doesn't get
Mahomes is a
batted
big.
down. Yeah, he's bigger than Purdy, but it's whatever. Like he's not that talented, and
Challenge massive. What's he done? So I don't put it. I don't put much stock. I know what you're
well,
saying.
something happened. Like maybe go sidearm, maybe do something like that because that kid was open for a touchdown. And then that forces Mahomes to punch it in, which they could. Like they kicked that field goal. They got to the 4 with 3 seconds left or whatever it was. So they were going to win that game. Kansas, there was zero doubt in my mind that Kansas City was going to win that game when San Fran went up by 3. So that shows you how much I respect
Well, that
Kansas City and
like
Patrick Mahomes.
we talked about it in a week, whatever it was, and we were laughing about quarterbacks getting overpaid and everything else, and asking for money. I can't remember who the guy was. I think it was the LA the Rams quarterback there. We were laughing about like he wanted to asking for money. We're like, "Are you Patrick Mahomes?" All
Oh,
of a
that
sudden,
Hebert, yeah.
yeah, we were talking about that. This was week 3 or 4, whatever it was, and all of a sudden, he's not. And fuck, let's get rid of this goat statement. He's got to win at least 6. He's only just tied Aikman, right? He's only just surpassed. He's only just surpassed Eli. So let's not fucking goat status this guy yet. Is he the best? Maybe. Is
He's
he
the
the
best
greatest?
right now.
Is he the greatest? No. It's the Gretzky McDavid comparison, right?
Right.
So everybody should just actually shut up. He's not the greatest of all time. Is he the best of all time? He might be, but he's not the greatest. Like enough. Enough with that talk. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And yeah, pull up his stats and Brady's stats at this point in their career, and he's equal to or a little bit better than Brady. But equal to is not like we're talking a career. Like career is when you start throwing animal horns on people, right? He ain't there yet. He's halfway as far as wins, right? Like so he's been to 4, he's won 3, which is a tremendous accomplishment. This isn't shitting on him. He's just too young. Let's
It's
see.
not
Let's
shitting on
see.
him. No, 100%.
No, let's just see where he is in
He's
five,
he's
ten
he's
more
not
years.
Montana yet,
No,
right?
right. Like it's remarkable what he does, and he is so money, and he does it in a different way than Tom Brady did it. But at the end of the day, him and Brady are kind of standing on the same footing at this point in their career. It's kind of funny. Patrick Mahomes in his career has only lost 3 playoff games, 2
Yeah.
to Tom Brady and 1 to Joe Burrow.
Well, there you
Right?
go. There you go. Like like he'll always have that stigma. Like, can't beat Brady, no matter what,
I haven't beat Brady. Right? Yeah.
and
In
never
the
will.
no, because that ship has sailed.
Like never will. So shut your mouth, and Chiefs fans, everybody else should just shut their yaps. That Brady, like it's got to be something pretty remarkable. There was that in the first quarter there, and fuck, last year, probably 1 year ago, probably almost to the day, when Travis Kelsey was yapping about everybody disrespected us, and everybody, no one said we were going to win. And like we said last year, if you want to go back and listen to that show, nobody once said they weren't going to win. Nobody disrespected you. That guy, his action with Andy Reid yesterday, and this has nothing to do with Swifty. That guy is a fucking jackwagon. Like he's a fucking idiot. He's an
He's a meathead. He's a meathead.
like I'm not
He just
like I'm not clickbaiting this at all. For what that statement was before he was dating Swifty last year with the people disrespecting us, and then for him fucking attacking Andy Reid, yes, not attacking, but you know what I mean. He kind of attacked him. Like he's like whatever he said. Um, he's a meathead.
he's a fucking meathead. Right? And so I don't whatever. Live your life. He can play on my team
Off the
anytime.
field, I don't care. On the field, like that was fucking. I don't know, man. That shit never. But what do you do? Like if he's one of the best tight ends ever, Like,
Yep.
does Reed sit him? Because then what?
Yeah, you
If if
can't sit him,
if that's game 5, he ain't playing.
and meatheads that are really, really, really good get a little bit of leash, and that's clearly what happens there, right? Um, Vontez Scantling or whoever, like that was something like I get it. The meathead was a little hot and he wanted to be in the game and that kind of thing. But I think Andy Reid is one of these players coaches where, if you're gonna do your shit, put in your reps and perform on the field, then I'm going to give you a little bit of leeway, and then cut to the end of the thing. And then that Clark, that defensive player for Kansas, was laying on the back. And then Andy Reid just laid on
Yeah,
top of him and gave him a little dry hump. That's that's a little weird too, but that
like
shows you the relationship this coach has with his superstars. And so, I get it. It was a bad look. It looked really bad, and the fact that Reed wasn't expecting him coming in hot like that, it actually startled him.
I like the emotion 100%. I like the emotion because that's what it takes to get to that level, right? You need emotion, you need the drive, and all on. But I can't think of another athlete that would have done that, like that level an athlete that would have done that in any sport.
Latrell
Maybe
Sprewell,
maybe LeBron,
Latrell
but
Sprewell,
Sprewell didn't win fuck all.
but he choked his coach.
Well, yeah, it's a situation there, but like you would never have
But
seen,
I get it. Yeah,
you would never
yeah.
seen an elite guy like fucking Wayne Gretzky doing that to Glenn Sather back when he played for the Oilers behind closed doors, maybe in the dressing room, maybe. Like, and I get the emotion that Kelsey was showing, and they're amped up, and football's more of an amped up sport than the other big three are. But man, that guy, it was a bad look.
It was
And
a bad
again,
look,
this
and
is nothing to do with his girlfriend. Nothing.
you know what? No, and
He was a
I agree with
jackwagon
that.
last year this time, and he's a jackwagon today. I don't like that guy.
No, neither do I. He's a meathead, and you know what? And you think of it this way too.
he
Like
seems
it's
like a
just one
fun
of those.
guy. Maybe we could share a beer together 100%. But just that, like, it's all the stuff all the time. Is it necessary?
But I'm gonna bring it back to this, right? He's in the prime of his career, and like he doesn't have a lot of shots left, and he doesn't have the patience and the wisdom of the coaching staff. And it's like, fuck, I should be out there. I want to be helping. And look at the stat sheet. Like one, maybe two catches. But then when the game was on the line, where did
They went to
every
him.
ball go? Yeah,
They went to him.
and that's the fucking coaching staff, right? Like they know we're saving you for when it counts the
Well, that's
most.
what I said earlier when the show first started. They do the Chiefs do enough at certain times. Let's not blow our load in the first quarter and put up 50 points. We'll
Yeah,
do it.
exactly.
It's very methodical. It's very like they were very methodical throughout these playoffs. They were 100%.
And that's like with the full realization, like as long as we're within a score with 5 minutes left in the game, we're fine. So no, let's not shit our pants. Let's just do it. We got the horses. We're gonna do this. Mahomes threw that interception. They didn't. No one got really worked out of shape because that's their defense played well again. But then again, I'm blaming fucking Shanahan. How come their adjustments were so much better than yours? Because at the fourth quarter, you guys were fucked. You guys were fucked. You couldn't move the ball like that drive that got him that field goal towards the end to go up by 3. That was prompted, and it was a penalty. Like that, like it was 3rd and 12,
Yeah.
and there was that holding penalty. But that saved that fucking drive. So because Brock Purdy wasn't able to throw downfield, those KC cornerbacks were. That's one thing Tony Romo said to it's like these cornerbacks know the routes these guys are running. They were covered, which tells me that San Fran wasn't disguising shit enough. Which tells me that the defensive side was better coached than the offensive side. Purdy, he throws that accurate on-time ball, but he didn't have a lot of big windows. He had nobody wide open.
He was
And
okay.
He was just okay, and I don't know if that's
He
like him
was,
missing
and
reads.
and
Yeah,
and like the him and the game itself to me, he went along with what we're gonna call it. He was whelming. He was whelming, and you got to be
yep,
more than whelming.
yep.
Like that
He didn't
entire
lo-
team was whelming
he didn't lose the game for him. He didn't
because
win the game for him.
Even Kansas City was whelming, in my
Hmm.
opinion. They were the whole thing was whelming. It's all right. Like
And they were, yeah, and they were awesome when they had to be awesome. Let's
yeah,
just keep it
no,
close. Let's just relax. Like, and and that's, I think, a part of the thing about being having been there before, right? There is no moment too big for the big players on Kansas City.
and going and being in those games means a lot, and being in that, it means a lot. You know how to do it. Like you know what to expect going in. You know about the delays to starting the game. You know about the on and on it goes. Um, Dave, we'll wrap up the football season in the 1420 podcast. For Beer Sports talking a whole lot more. What are you going to remember about that game?
I There's nothing. There's no one particular play or anything. Like, what I'm going to remember is Kansas City being down by 3 points with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and I had zero doubt they were going to win that game.
No, there was no surprise.
There it was no surprise. And then what else I'm going to remember, and a buddy sent me the article, is the fuck is Shanahan doing receiving the ball in overtime when, like, that's
I
and
did not know. Deanne was asking me about the overtime rules, and like we kind of do this not for a living because we got jobs and everything. But um, I did not know there was different rules in the playoffs for in overtime. I didn't know. I had no idea.
No, and I did know, but and then, like,
Or
I
it passed
looked
you
it up.
by, or whatever it was.
No, I did know, but, like, once it was the Super Bowl, I made sure I knew,
Yeah,
right? And
I
then,
had
like,
no
even
idea.
even Romo was a little confused, and then I was
Well,
reading today
he's
that
stupid.
he is so stupid. And then, like, oh, I have this, but fucking Romo, like, that
Awful.
it's a worst case scenario, right? When a game's coming down like that, he just can't keep from coming in his pants. And like Jim Nance, just he's like, fuck, give me a fucking towel. Stop yelling. Stop saying the Super
Yeah,
Bowl's on the line. Like, the Super Bowl isn't on the line every fucking play, Tony. Like, so just relax. And
yeah.
Romo didn't realize with the time and shit like that. They got to get this playoff. No, well, no, they don't, because they would have played a second quarter. Like, it's just, it was different.
Yeah, I didn't know
And
the rule. I didn't know there was a rule change, but
yeah,
apparently neither did the Niners. And on the other side of things, KC's been talking about it all season long. Like
yes,
they
they
had
talked about it in game one.
they
Yeah,
had a game plan for playoffs if it was going to happen, and on it went. And they're going they would be going for two and on, like, instead of just going for the they had a game plan.
right. They had a game plan, right?
But I
And
find it hard to believe the amount of time these football dorks and coaching staffs and everything else that they're around the game. I find it hard to believe that those articles are true, because how would you not know that going into that game? You think there'd be
you
some intern saying, "Hey, did you get this memo from
you
Goodell
got
or
to think,
whatever?"
right? Or just now, like, or even like Shannon, like someone, like make me understand. Like, I want to make sure I got this right? Like,
Yeah,
something, because there's no understandable reason for receiving the ball then. There's no way you can receive the ball when both teams are getting a possession regardless. Even if they score a touchdown, you're going to get the ball back,
yeah,
right? And then, so why would you? And then if you're going to do that, then you got to punch it in. Really put the pressure on. Like, not that Mahomes is going to feel pressure at that kind of moment. That's when he shines the brightest. Punch it in. A field goal's not going to cut it. A field goal is not going to cut it. They're marching on you guys, like, and then also too the prevent D to give up that field goal, for fuck's sake, in the fourth quarter. They were giving them 15 chunks of yardage for fucking free, right? And then I like it was just it. You feel I do feel bad for Shanahan, and I do feel bad for the Niners a little bit, But then, go out and fucking grab that ring. Don't want someone to make a mistake and it fall in your fucking lap, because that's
Well,
not how it fucking works against that team.
like we
You got to
talked about,
fucking punch him in the face and keep punching him in the face until that game is over.
like we talked about, we were with E-Man and Jim and Aaron on Cigar and Sports on Friday night and everything else. If not now, then when? And now, you know what? I think we're looking at when for a long
Well,
time for that team.
I don't necessarily disagree with, because the NFC is pretty shitty.
They got a lot. The obviously all the free agents they're going to lose this or up and on and on. Like, there's a lot. They're going to have a different looking team next year, and and who's going to San Francisco to be second place? People will sign up to go to Kansas City, right? Take a pay cut a little bit because you want to get your
Yeah.
ring. People ain't signing up for maybe we might win. They ain't taking a pay cut for maybe, right? So,
Well, yeah, we're gonna find out. Like, I do agree. Like, any team that has Andy Reid on the sidelines and Pat Mahomes slinging it, like, that's the team that I want to play for. I don't care if they got to uh, beat the fucking whoever's on the last game of the season to make the playoffs. If they're an 8 seed, that's going to be my horse. I don't care.
let's put a wrap on the 2023 NFL season. Goes into 2024. Are you surprised that the Kansas City Chiefs are the Super Bowl champions once again?
Absolutely not.
Not at all.
Nope.
So,
There was, no intrigue.
like all the bullshit we talked about all year long, it's not surprising. It's
Mm-mm.
not surprising. We talked about it in week fucking 2. They're gonna win. They're gonna win.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that, like,
They fell off the wagon, and I switched to Baltimore and what have you. But yeah, now that it's all said and done, and as they went
and
through the
for
playoffs.
all the bullshit that the NFL talks about the parity and how great the league is, it's fucking one sided, man. You could, like, right now we'll get into the 2025 so 2024 season in a second here, but there ain't no fucking parity in that league. There isn't.
I think there's some in the AFC. My Broncos beat the Super Bowl champions, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but
But that was in week 8, right? So
like
big fucking
so
deal. Yeah.
there's zero parity in that league. It's a it's a one trick pony.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm not gonna agree with that, because Buffalo could have beat them. Like, they were in that game.
But they didn't.
Baltimore could have beat them. Like,
But they
so,
didn't.
and Joe Burrow was out with an injury. So
Buffalo
I'm not.
was never winning that game. Baltimore was never winning that game. Never. Especially Baltimore was never winning that game.
I
And you have
I
a
just
whole other conference who aren't beating those guys.
well, the whole other conference can't. Yeah, they can't. Yeah, the NFC is garbage, absolute garbage. Wow, that's a little strong, but they're garbage compared to the top 4 teams in the AFC.
Well, they're
We're gonna
getting a little
see.
bit better, but
Well, there's more
for
parity
all
in
the
the
for all
AFC.
the for all the parity in the league and that they say it is, it ain't. It's not.
Well, there is parity, but it's not at the very top, right? There's 3, 4 teams, but the like, parity means, like, at any given Sunday, right? Like, the Broncos beating the Chiefs, the Raiders beat the Chiefs, like 2 non-playoff teams, right? Tennessee knocking out Jacksonville in the last week. Fucking Pittsburgh making the playoffs with a 9-8 record, like, big fucking deal, right?
Big deal. Who cares?
Yeah, parity, but like, when it comes to fuck or walk time, ugh, as much as it pains me to say, like, I haven't seen a team like, well, like the Patriots, right? It's playoff time, and at least, um, Brady did have some rivals, right? Yeah, like Roethlisberger won some on Brady's watch.
Manning
Peyton
got
Manning
2.
won a couple on things. Joe Flacco got one.
Eli
Like,
got
who's
2 on. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah.
These other jokers haven't done a fucking thing against Mahomes, and they're
I
the
don't
same
know,
age.
right? I don't know who's
They're
gonna
all
do
about
it.
the same age, right?
Uh-huh. You
So
bet they are. I don't know who's going to be the one to be a rival, and maybe that might be the thing that thwarts the GOAT status of Mahomes, because he has no rival. Who would
The
it
only
be?
the only guy who beat him retired.
Well, and Joe Burrow.
Okay, I can we quit jerking off Joe Burrow? He didn't win the big game either.
No, but he made it to the big
Sure,
game.
he made it to that, but he didn't win fuck
But
all either.
you know what we were just saying. Like, he beat
But
Pat Mahomes.
but
He beat
well,
Patrick Mahomes,
but
right?
Cincinnati didn't win. Who cares? So you won one more game. You didn't win all four. Who cares?
Well, we're looking for rivals, and I think
But
that's
there's none. Dave,
well,
think logically.
well, I am thinking logically. You don't think feistily, like you wanna just give. You just finished saying 10 minutes ago, like, let's not call him the GOAT yet, but now you're just saying he is
But
the GOAT. He
no,
has
he's
no
the best
rival.
player right now.
Yes, for sure. But then,
He's
like,
not,
at least there's one player in the league that has beaten him, okay? And that is Joe Burrow.
but he didn't win, so it means nothing. It means
Well,
if he would have won a Super Bowl, it means something. But it means
yeah, but
nothing.
he denied Pat a chance to win.
I know what you're saying, but I
more.
just like until
Well,
someone fucking beats him and wins something, it's just like Jesus.
so
Yeah,
Matt
whatever.
Stafford. So, but he's only 1 or 2 years away from retiring, right? Matt
Yeah.
Stafford beat him in the no. Matt Stafford beat Burrow. Yeah, so no, there's only one active quarterback that has beaten fucking Pat Mahomes in the
In the
playoffs.
playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough look for all these guys who want 40 and 50 million bucks a year. It's a tough
Yeah.
look. That's a
Well,
real tough look.
Fucking Jim Harbaugh, Hayseed Harbaugh, is going to bring his magic and change the culture around those Chargers next year, which sucks. And they're going to be divisional rivals. He'll be like, "What's your dealing, Andy Reid?" See what that fat fuck thinks about Harbaugh slapping him on the ass after a win.
No, you'd be hard pressed to bet against if you're a betting man. Go to wherever you place your bets, bet responsibly, obviously. But it wouldn't be a bad bet. Put $20 down on the Chiefs again next year. Really,
I agree, and I think Burrow. I'm sorry, Burrow. I think Mahomes is quite comfortable coasting through the regular season, not really caring about passing records, not caring about MVPs, not caring about Pro Bowls. Call me when the playoff starts, and then we can talk about shit.
and
Right?
100% like that. When you go to the Hall of Fame and you have your plaque up on the wall in Canton or in Toronto or Cooperstown or wherever it is, the only thing that matters is how many championships you got. The rest of it's all a bunch of bullshit. Nobody
Yeah,
cares.
this team
Nobody cares.
he's Gretzky on the 85, 84 to 88 Oilers, right? We don't care. We'll coast a little bit here, but come
We'll just
playoffs,
win games.
we'll just win when they matter.
And then we'll
And
go
that's what
16 and
happens.
4 in the playoffs like Gretzky used to, and whatever it was. Have a little rough spot with the Flames, and like it's just
Yeah, we're gonna hit a bump in the road, but we have 100% confidence in our skill, and when
that
when
we'll
the rubber
figure it
hits
out.
the road, you bet we got our foot
Yeah.
on the gas, and we're gonna deliver.
No, it's funny. It's well, and this happens. I can go run a little long here, but it's funny to think that a couple just only 5 years ago, the Chiefs were a great story. It was heartfelt for them, and now it's like, can those guys just fucking go away? It's
Yep.
fun. It's funny, and and it has nothing to do with Swifty once again, but it has just
Everybody loves a dynasty till you're looking at your team not being
not doing it right,
the
and so
dynasty, right?
and like it's just funny to look at that because because Kelsey's not the nicest of the he's just different, and it's just
He's a meathead. Yeah,
and Mahomes' brother's a meathead, and just
a
the stuff that goes
meathead.
around with it, and it was a great story 3 years ago. Now it's like, oh, for fuck's sakes,
Hmm.
right? If you're a Chiefs fan, you think it's great,
Yeah,
right?
because they were long suffering. But
Long suffering.
and so we're Pats fans, right? Like, fuck. I'm
Yeah.
long suffering now. Been 8 years since Denver rose the Lombardi. Oh, I thought that was a little dirty of them making John Elway hand that fucking trophy to the Chiefs. You shouldn't have the greatest
I
QB of all time fucking delivering it to a division rival.
I was watching, like, I kind of had it on still down here, but when the CEO or the owner or whatever it was,
Hunt.
yeah,
Clark Hunt is Lamar
Clark
Hunt's son.
Hunt, he he wanted to keep talking. Like, he
Oh
wanted
yeah.
it was all about him, that I did this and I did that. I was like, you cock. We talk about it every time there's a trophy presentation. That cocksucker couldn't wait to keep talking. They have to quit doing that. I
Makes you
understand.
wonder.
I understand that the owners spend the money and on it goes, but they have to quit putting the fucking owners of these franchises on the stage when these players are there.
You know, even if they want to
Hockey,
give it to
hockey doesn't do it. Why does baseball? I know basketball does it. I know hockey, but why does football and baseball do it? I don't understand it. It's
do you know
fucking
what
ridiculous.
it
I hate it.
same. And you know what else? What I hate even more than that is this tiny little fucking 10 by 10 stage on a pedestal
So
with
5 people get to be on.
with 5 people. Get the fucking stage that the halftime reporter was performance was on. Get
Or
the
don't have a stage where the wife and the this and the this and the players won
right,
the championship.
get that whole fucking team on the stage.
Because why does
And
Kelsey
then
get it? Why does Mahomes? On it goes. Get the
right.
whole team, because there was other players who made big plays. That
And
was
that kid that caught the pass, he
it's
was he
it's
that
a
won it.
bullshit move the NFL does. That's why I
Yes.
hate the NFL for that kind of shit, because it's all about the fucking marketing machine. I hate that shit more than anything. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I do as well, but like I'm trying to find some middle ground here because
There's
obviously
none.
no, the middle ground is get them all on the big stage. Get them all on a big stage. So at least all the players are there. Like some players, like I don't even know if they get a touch and get like when do they get their picture with it? When do they get a drink with it? When are they gonna party with it? Like I don't fucking know. Like definitely that thing doesn't make its rounds like the Stanley Cup.
Like, guaranteed last night, fucking Mahomes and fucking and his entourage and the rest of them got to hold that trophy before fucking, like, the offensive tackle did.
Yeah, like I don't like
I
I don't know.
The
Or
NFL
maybe
pisses me off.
or maybe Mahomes like doesn't even worry about it because he's gonna be carting that thing around 3-4 times, right? Like he'll have a day to himself with it, right?
Makes me
You know,
crazy. Like,
yeah, he's gonna be in the Kansas City party. He's gonna be the one with it on his bus, and you know, I don't know. It is frustrating how you know it's such a team game and there's so many moving parts and so many
is it?
players. Well, it is a team game,
No, it is. But
you know,
when push comes to shove,
but
they
but then when
they
it's time to
they
celebrate
fucking
and
they tell you who's
yeah,
important and who's not.
yeah, you bet. Like that, there's definitely favorites on that thing, and you know, and superstars sell tickets, and then we're kidding ourselves if we think it's
No,
any different. But
Dave,
what
I
do you do?
don't though. I know that. I absolutely know that. But they got to quit telling us that. Quit telling us that this guy's more important, and it's just a fucking machine. All this other shit doesn't matter, because that's what the NFL is. None of it matters. You watched that game yesterday. The game was secondary to all that other shit going on.
Yeah, I am gonna disagree with that. Tell that to the Kansas City fans. Tell that to Mahomes. Tell that to Shanahan. Right? The game wasn't secondary. The game might be secondary to the NFL marketers and to Roger Goodell, but to fans of the sport, it's not secondary. And I think you do shortchange the fans who really care, right? About the game. And I'm not talking about the honks that are going around and breaking down their team's draft prospects right now and doing their mock drafts. That's you might want to tap the brakes a little bit on your fandom. But for me, um, I'm an NFL fan. I enjoyed the game. Like I say, that game was a C minus until the fourth quarter. So I'm going to give that game in a a total score of a B plus. But it would have been a better game if it wasn't Mahomes because I wouldn't have known who was going to win it.
No, there it is. Anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar podcast for Beer Sports Talk and a whole lot more. This segment was brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Go out and get you some baseball tickets. Spring training's right around the corner. Pitches and catches report on Wednesday afternoon. There we go. That's it. Football season's over.
Football, we'll see you in September. Now it's time for some spring training. Let's see some pictures from Arizona and Florida in a couple of weeks.
Jesus, I'd love to go down there. Yeah.
Just
I
pull up your
like
chair.
baseball. I like
Baseball's
baseball.
good.